Hi, Adam Brooks here one more time. I am back. I'm in Arizona, in Phoenix, which is where I live. I've been traveling for the last 2.5 months, kind of around the United States. I've gone all the way from Seattle to Florida. I've gone as north as Wisconsin. I've gone a little bit of everywhere. Just got back from New Mexico, so I'm happy to be home. But it was awesome. I had a great trip, got to meet a lot of great people. But I want to talk to you about a question that I always get asked everywhere I go. It typically gets asked by the older generation, people who are a little bit older even than I am. I know I'm pretty old, but they say, Adam, is this generation, why are they so different than us? Why are they why do they care about different things? What makes them so unusual compared to when we were kids? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they're all that different. I don't think that they've changed a whole lot. Kids today still want community just like I wanted community. Kids today want safety like I want safety. Kids today want food on the table like I wanted food on the table. They're not different in that way. They're still the same basic needs that they're trying to fill. The only difference is the way that they're filling them. See, when I was a kid, I could be friends with the neighborhood kids or not. That was it. Today, kids can be friends with someone in Japan. Kids can be friends with someone across the world simply through the use of the internet, through use of video games, and they can talk to people all over the world. So they have a much wider scope. Now, in my opinion, they're willing to settle for a false sense of community, which is what I would call Facebook and social media and all those things, because it's not real. If me and the next door neighbor kid got into a fight, guess what? We still live next door to each other. I still had to interact with them. I had to apologize, or they had to apologize, and we had to figure out a way to work together. Kids today at Facebook, you lose a friend, well, guess what? I'm one click away from adding a new friend. So people are a little bit more disposable in this generation. That doesn't mean they want community less. It just means that they have typically a more artificial community than when I was a kid. When I was younger, I would say that if I wanted to do drugs, let's say, I had to know the kids that did drugs. I had to go meet those kids that did drugs. Then I had to convince those kids to sell to me. It was like a 3-month process. I hear. I don't know. However, today I can Google drugs made from household chemicals. Apparently this is how you Google. And in 15 minutes, I can make household drugs out of what I've got under the cabinet. So the difference isn't the drugs, the difference is accessibility. Things are more accessible to kids today. Again, another example, when I was a kid, sexting was different. Because see, I had a pager in high school. I know, it's ridiculous. Pagers were for drug dealers and doctors, but I had a pager. It was awesome. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I try to explain the idea of pagers to kids today and teens, and they look at me like that doesn't make sense. And they're right, it didn't, but seemed viable at the time, right? So the worst thing I could do, the way sexting happened when I was a kid, was I could page someone boobs or boobless or hell. That was it. I could write hell, boobs, or boobless. That was sexting when I was a kid. Today, kids can break federal law in 5 seconds with their cell phones. If they send any type of nude photo across state lines, they've now broken federal law. So it's scary in that sense. So whenever I talk to people about kids versus when I was a kid, we weren't different. The need for intimacy, the curiosity about sexuality, the curiosity about what was going on with the kids down the hall, or making fun of someone or teasing someone, that wasn't different, but the accessibility is changed. Growing up, if somebody made fun of me at school, I could go home and tell my parents, and they would say, That kid doesn't know what they're talking about. Today, a kid gets made fun of and they go home and then their Facebook starts teasing them. Kids on Instagram start teasing them. Their computers in their rooms have emails where kids are teasing them. So there's really no safe place for a kid today like there was when I was a kid. We do have to create safer places for our kids, but that doesn't mean that they are any different than when we were kids. They still want the same basic things. They just have accessibility to more things than I ever had. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed watching. It's just my way to share with you what I'm sharing on the road when I travel. So hope you're doing well. Take care. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Find me on Facebook. Find me on YouTube. Follow me. This is Adam Brooks. Be blessed.